Hey and welcome to the Ray FF 1600 guide on Laguna Seca for the Formula 1600 Rookie Series in iRacing. The very first thing you should do before you hop into the car is to go to your options, click on Control and set a hotkey for the Tear Off Visor option in your settings. This track is extremely dusty and whenever you leave the track or a car ahead of you, then you will immediately see dirt on your screen. Setting a hotkey for this option will allow you to keep a clear sight throughout the whole race. And like for all other guides on my channel, I've uploaded all lap files for the upcoming lap to our community Discord. Those allow you to drive against my ghost car in your practice sessions and make them even more efficient. I'm also offering coachings and doing lots of other stuff. You can find all information and links in the description down below. Approach the first turn on the far right edge of the track. Use the 400 meter board as marker for braking and shift all the way down into second gear. As you can see, you can go pretty far off the track to get a better angle for the first entry. You won't receive an incident point as long as the center of your car stays to the left of the white line. Trail brake into the turn, attack the first entry curb and stay off the throttle while you patiently wait for the car to turn around. There's a trick I'm using to get the car around the apex, and that's a simple downshift into first gear. This will give your rear a small kick, throw the car around, point it towards the exit and allow you to get back on the throttle right away. Slowly add throttle input, and when you did everything correctly, then you should be going flat out when you are exiting the turn right on this curb. Swing to the left to use the curb to your advantage and gently, very gently touch the brakes when you reach the 200 meter board. I'm not touching the brakes here because I want to slow down, I'm doing it to control my speed and because touching the brakes shifts some of the load of the car to the front, which gives me a bit more grip on the upcoming entry. Attack the exit curb and be aggressive on the throttle to accelerate onto the long straight. For the next turn, you want to drive onto the curb again, lift when you reach the end of it and turn in towards the upcoming inside curb. In this turn I have another short tip, never fully let go from the throttle. If you keep a tiny bit of pressure on it, it will give you more grip on the rear and keep the car more stable throughout the entry. Attack the inside curb as you keep adding pressure to the throttle. And ideally you want to exit this turn on the curb and not like you see me doing here on the gravel. However, I still took this lap because I want to show you that it's not that big of a deal. You can still stay on the throttle and as long as the center of your car doesn't leave the curb, then you won't receive an incident point. It costs about 1 or 2 hundredths of a second, compared to a tenth which it would cost when you lift for a tighter exit. Position the car on the curb again. Use the white line on the right side as marker for braking and shift down into third gear. Attack the inside curb and here it's more important than ever to be aggressive on the throttle. The exit of the turn leads uphill, which means that you will lose a ton of momentum when you hit the slope without accelerating. So don't be shy, don't lose any time and attack the throttle. The next turn is very sharp, which means that you have not that much freedom for any kind of mistakes. Hitting a clean line is more important than anything else, so avoid any unnecessary risks, or the chances are high that you will regret them. Start with a clean entry by driving onto the curb and touching the brakes when you reach the 200 meter board to adjust your speed. Turn in as you drive over the crest and attack the inside curb. You also want to be aggressive on the throttle again to carry your speed onto the straight, so hitting the inside line here is the key to make the turn. You can go wide and into the gravel around here, but I wouldn't recommend it because the car can be unstable and when you are unlucky then it will lead to a spin. Stay in third gear as you drive up the hill and use the upcoming white line on the right side as marker for braking. You want to hit the brakes shortly before you reach it and shift down into second gear. This turn can be a bit tricky, but it's quite easy when you take your time and don't overshoot it. Should you enter it with too much speed, then you will have a really hard time to get the car to turn. So in case it always feels like you need to fight the car a lot to get it through this passage, then it means that you should simply take a step back, brake a bit earlier, and all your issues will disappear. Attack the inside curb as you get back on the throttle and push the car towards the exit. I went for a very risky and very tight exit around here. In the race I would probably try to aim for an exit further on the left, because you will spin when you touch the gravel and you will also spin on cold or very hot tires, so in the end the risk is not really worth it. Lift as you drive into the compression and aim for a tight line around the upcoming apex. The next turn is extremely fun, because you can carry way more speed through it than you will initially think. Drive onto the curb, use the 200 meter board as marker and tap the brakes to adjust your speed. Attack the curb and try to go flat out as early as possible. Drive onto the outside curb and hit the brakes hard when you reach the 200 meter board. You want to go hard on the brakes and shift all the way down into first gear. Use all available space on the last exit. You won't receive an incident point when you use the AstroTurf, it's part of the racing track. Thanks for your support and have fun with the upcoming Cockpit Lap. I wish you all the best for the next weekend. See you next time!